All right, all right, all right. Surrender was the theme of my adventure to Peru. I had been feeling called to Peru for quite some time. And while I was in Colombia, I figured, well, while I'm here, I should explore more of Colombia. I had never really spent much time on the coast. And then as I looked into it, it felt like much more aligned to just go to Peru, even though it was farther away, it was more expensive. Heard there were protests going on. It's like, fuck it, let's do it. So I surrendered to the experience and I um, went for about a month, used the Airbnb in Colombia as a base because I had already paid for it and I couldn't refund it. Took a lighter bag, didn't carry my laptop, and just had my phone. Off I went. First stop was in Cusco. While I was there, I went to the Mountain View Experience, which is this little glamping spot near the Sacred Valley. Horseback riding, ATV. Went to the Incan sites in the Sacred Valley. Did an ayahuasca in Pisac. And then I went on the Salcante trek, which is one of the treks that go to Machu Picchu, except it's more nature focused. So you go up into the mountains, you go up to the lake, you go down into the jungle, and it's a beautiful, beautiful 5 day, 4 night, or that's the one I did, trek. Then I hit up Machu Picchu, and then when Vicky came, we went to Rainbow Mountain, hit up Machu Picchu again because she really wanted to see it. And then when she left, I headed to Arequipa and did rock climbing and river rafting while I was there. And while I was there was when the protests kind of picked up and the roads were blocked. So for a while, I extended my time in Arequipa, as many people did, and the airport was shut down, roads were blocked. Nobody knew what their plans were. Some people were heading to Chile to fly back home. I decided to take the journey to Lima because that's where my flight was out of. And it was like a 7 different collectivos, like 15 hours to get to Ica near Huacachina. And that was one of the highlights of my experience. It was a lot of fun. Stayed in Huacachina for a couple nights, did the sand dune buggy and whatever you call that, and then made my way to Lima for my flight out. So yeah, some of my favorite memories was ayahuasca. I write about that as well on my Instagram. Arequipa is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful colonial old towns, I think, from in anywhere. So the Spanish buildings. And then, yeah, the journey to Huacachina with the protests and the roadblocks and switching vehicles, all of that was really a lot of fun. Some of the pros, so Peru's got magnificent nature. It actually reminds me of this U.S. in some ways, just the expanse, and it's beautiful. The food in Peru is also highly ranked. What you do want to be careful for is it is very touristy, and so it can be a bit pricey as well, and sometimes your interactions with locals might be more transactional, um, because they are so used to tourists just going to their place, and also it's a big country. And so, unless you're flying, if you're taking buses, they have the night buses and things like that. It takes a while to get around. So, after Peru and then flying to Taiwan, I'm done traveling for a bit. Just want to hang out. Other reflections. So, in general, like I said, Peru was really calling to me. So I'm very grateful I listened to that and finally went. I feel like it helped me achieve some kind of peace of mind where I still have, the southern part of South America to visit and Venezuela, but I feel like I did a good enough chunk of South America where I feel at peace until I can make it back there again at some point in the future. I really like what I did because I had kept my Airbnb. I left, like half my stuff there and then used it as a base to travel to Peru. And I really like that. Otherwise, I would have to carry a lot more and be less mobile. So I really enjoyed what I did there, kind of taking a 3 week, 2 month long travel only trip. So I'm going to look to incorporate that hopefully out of Taiwan this year, use this as a base and travel. And then was also a good experience to help Vicky fulfill one of her bucket list items, as well as get some energetic closure on that relationship. So that was my journey to Peru. Definitely recommend visiting it. Who knows why everyone loves going to Machu Picchu? It's like a bunch of rocks on a mountain, but people love to see it, and there's obviously a spiritual component to it. So people feel drawn to it, which is it's encouraging for me as someone who's looking to do work in the spiritual realm. Let me know in the comments some feedback so I can continue to improve on my work. Thank you.